Right. The one thing I'm looking for here, depending on where they go, and it seems like they've settled on Mammoth, is Twilight's ability with Koji to spike with the bow's side air, or down air rather, spike someone off the map at, high damage. Orange health hitting with the bow, it can put you off.
Yeah. Game 1 going to Mammoth Fortress between Twilight's Koji and Amer's Scarlet. Koji opens up with the bow. Amer finds the lance. The first thing that we see is that weapon toss into unarmed combo. Here he is. He has it. He's going to throw it again. I'm expecting that.
We'll see a lot of that because, like we've said earlier, the lance does have a huge hitbox, and being able to follow up with an unarmed combo after stunning your opponent with a weapon throw is extremely important, especially when you're up against an opponent that can attack so quickly from above and from the side with the sword or the bow.
Ooh, that sword sidelight nearly sending Amer to the mine, but it doesn't connect. Amer picks up the hammer, hits him with the side air. I'm expecting a weapon toss into an arm combo once again. Goes for the scoop instead? No, Amer decided to hold on to his hammer.
We'll be seeing a lot of scoop attempts because a scoop to a neutral air, just like we saw there, is extremely, extremely damage heavy and can put an opponent off the top of the map, starting in orange health. Sorry, yellow health.
Already disarms Twilight's Koji. And then Koji, out of jumps, doesn't opt to go to the side of the stage and finds himself dead off the bottom of the map. Calls in for a weapon, finds the bow. Amer holding onto the hammer, tosses it aside, but Twilight ends up punishing with the down air. Ooh, a bomb. That is not the kind of thing that Twilight wants to be hitting his face right now, especially when he's down a stock and not even doing any damage to Amer.
There's another throw into an unarmed neutral air. Not badly done.
Does it? Excellent weapon toss into just picking up another lance. Just completely destroying Twilight's Koji right now. Amer finding himself in the red. Twilight about to go into the orange. This is the scoop that sends him upwards. Goes for the neutral air follow-up. Doesn't connect. Amer's got complete control over this match.
Chasing a lot with that neutral air. Amer's trying to get the knock off the top of the map badly, and Twilight does get him over the edge, but not quite far enough for Amer not to recover. With a down light, does put Amer into the air, but is unable to fall out with the neutral light. Amer's throwing out a lot of SIGs.
Ooh,
another attempt at a scoop to scoop.
And a gravy cancel neutral stick that nearly clips Twilight and takes him off the side of the stage. He's in the red. Another side light. It's only going to take a hammer sider to end Koji's stock.
Even that ground pound, if it had connected, would have put Koji off the top after a bounce, but Twilight's able to get Amer off very quickly with that sword.
Yeah, that D-Light Cider combo always being reliable in regards to killing somebody that's in the red. But Amer hits him with the sidelight into a weapon toss. Twilight finds himself without jumps, but hits the side of the stage. He's back. How long will he be able to remain?
Quick recovery from Earth doesn't quite hit Twilight, but Twilight chasing with the sword here. If Twilight gets ground pounded, it's all over after getting hit with that lance.
I would be very scared if I was Amer right now. But it gets the scoop, kills him off the top, but that was looking really dangerous. Twilight had Amer in a position where he was going to be able to possibly take that stock in the early yellow and take the lead. But instead, Amer maintains his lead 2-1, both players in the yellow. Twilight's going to have to do a lot of work to be able to get himself back into the potential of winning this game.
Well, he's close now, getting Amer into red health. Again, Scarlet is a damage-heavy legend, but she only has, I think, 4 defense. So Koji able to rack up quick damage with the sword could put Amer off the side of the map and tie it up at white and tan or beige stock. And it seems like he does almost do it with the down. He does with the ground pound.
I think you can call it like deep or light yellow, orangish. Stuff like that, it's alright. But yeah, he ends up killing him off the bottom of the map. Amer just trying to find a weapon right now, but Twilight was actually doing a great job just being able to keep him off the ground.
Amer going in for a lot of air attacks, going for the air down on the air side with the with the lance there. And again, picking up the hammer, trying to get those early scoops, because at yellow health, a scoop into a neutral air is almost true. There's only a few dodge frames
that you can actually have if the follow-up is correct. Yeah, that is true. Amer tossing the hammer into his face, brings him into the orange, but doesn't get any follow-up. And Twilight's able to find a sidelight and a down air. Twilight's
relentlessly after the scoop. Finding a side air puts Twilight over the edge of the map. Not quite off, but picking up the hammer again after ditching the lance. One good hit from either of these. A string from Koji, a down light into a side light. Wow. This is dangerous.
Twilight lands and barely clips Amer with that side air. Both players find themselves in the red, but they did. Oh! D-Light side air doesn't kill Amer off the side, but then the weapon toss, we'll get another weapon toss to be able to end it. Goes to the ground pound.
Amer, smart, trying to trick, instead of actually recovering, tries to get the scoop in midair, tries to get the neutral hammer, but Koji's too quick with the ground pound from the sword.
Yeah, almost feels
Punishes
like he
that.
was expecting that. I was not expecting that for him to go to the ground pound there. I would have just tossed the weapon or done another side air. I think if Koji did a side air, he would have gotten punished by Amer Scarlet.
It's a level of play that's beyond me. I can't see four steps forward or whatever. And I guess that's, you know, the higher level of play is to be able to deviate from the normal strats
Yeah,
in a
or
split second.
Or maybe he's just used to seeing it. It also comes from experience. Either way, game 2, Twilight takes game 1. Both players sticking with their legends and their skins going to Thunderguard Stadium. Twilight finds the first weapon. It's the bow.
Amer not being able to pick up a weapon yet. Twilight tries to guard that weapon, but doesn't successfully do it. Amer gets himself a lance. Twilight has a sword. They're trading damage, both of them in yellow health right now. Amer's getting off a couple neutral airs and a throw into a recovery. Puts Twilight into orange.
I love seeing weapon throw combos like that from him, where he's able to toss the lance up, get that hit, and punish with recovery, and pick his lance up as if he never even dropped it. Once
Again with the throw on the edge to safeguard himself against a ground pound or a downlight from Twilight.
And then a max range stop to send Twilight up, but he doesn't get the follow-up. Still, Twilight finds himself in the red. A charged weapon throw sends Twilight up below the stage, and a recovery. Is that his stock? No.
Twilight dodging through the throw. Experience was definitely important there. With a couple sidelights, puts Amer off the side of the map.
Wow.
And he knows he's not able to recover in ground pounds to his demise.
Amer was carrying Twilight around that map, had him completely in control, and one misstep allowed Twilight to send him off the stage and keep him off, taking the first stock. Twilight's in the deep red, however. It's not going to take much for Amer to be able to finish this stock.
Especially in the shenanigans pit, where Amer can probably hit a ground pound or a recovery very easily. Twilight just completely abandoning the fact that the ground pound pit is where he wanted to possibly gimp Amer. And goes to the side. Amer getting a throw, but unable to follow up with the hammer. He's trying to just get a solid sig onto Twilight to knock him off the side of the map.
Amer holding onto the hammer. He's not quite ready to kill Twilight yet, I guess. Twilight doing a great job of just being able to hold onto his stock. He's not landing many moves, but he doesn't really need to. As long as he has the stock advantage, well, doesn't have it. Any damage that he can get with the stock ahead is an advantage for Twilight. Amer finds the side air, kills him off the side of the map. Twilight holding onto the sword. Amer tosses the hammer into his face. Twilight trying to do as much damage as he can. Amer finds himself into the deep orange, picks up the lance, and then ends up getting hit by a down air.
Amer trying to space out with the down sig and the D light, unable to hit Twilight with too much of it. Going back to a lot of air attacks, unable to make any connections. Almost trying to get the neutral air after a weapon toss, not quite hitting it. Throwing the bomb vertically up and to the right. Doesn't quite hit Twilight, who gets a side air and almost puts Amer off the side of the map.
Amer has such great patience when he's off stage like that. Twilight was ready to punish him, and I think the only thing that he could have done was toss that lance upwards to interrupt whatever option it was that Twilight was going to go for. Whoa! Twilight goes for a neutral light there, but Amer tries to punish with a gravy cancel side stick, doesn't connect, goes for that ground pound, and he finds himself in a dangerous position. Amer, yes, he's taking a lot of damage, but he is Scarlet. He's got quite a bit of attack, so he'll be able to do a lot of damage to Twilight if he ends up misstepping. He only needs one scoop into neutral air to be able to finish off Twilight's stock. But there's a down air. Does that end it?
Not quite. Amer's back into the ground pound zone, but Twilight with the sword is taking up a lot of space and not quite allowing Amer to pick up a weapon. Even though he does, puts him off the side of the map with the downlight to a side air combo.
Oof. That gives Twilight the lead 2-1. But Amer's going to be able to end this really quickly if he continues to hit him with that spike ball. Picks up the lance, goes for a side air, doesn't quite connect. Twilight doing his best to punish him. Gets hit by a ground pound, however, and sends him into the red with a recovery hit. No! Twilight hits him with a down air.
Amer picks up his preferred hammer, trying to get spacing, but Twilight taking control of the center of the map. A recovery from Amer puts Twilight down off the bottom.
Yeah, but at what cost? Amer already finds himself in the light orange, taking quite a bit of damage. Twilight on Koji has a little bit more defense than that, and he hasn't been getting hit by a lot of Amer's attempts. But there's a weapon toss. I feel like Amer's going to do a little bit more of that if he really wants to be able to take this game back into the lead.
Amer getting those scoops he's looking for. The aerial game from the hammer is extremely strong. Let's see if he tries to punish with the side stick over the corner. He doesn't go for it, but Twilight now being very cautious, trying to avoid all damage. Hits a neutral air with the bow, putting Amer into deep orange.
Ooh, excellent neutral air to be able to cover that air dash from Twilight. Picks up the lance and follows up with a neutral air.
Hits both neutral airs with both of his weapons back to back. That's not something you see. And another scoop putting Twilight almost off the top of the map. Can he get another scoop? Very close there.
Oh, jeez. Wow, throws the hammer, ends up catching himself, and then the side air as he tries to catch the weapon from the horn.
Wow.
Amer takes game 2. We're moving on to game 3 in this winner's chorus match.
That was a very interesting series of events there. I don't often see anybody throw a weapon and immediately catch it.
Did you see that? It almost looked like it was like a boomerang. Like he tossed the weapon forward and then caught it again. I didn't know that was possible.
Wow. That was an extremely impressive end. And with the side light putting him off the side of the map, with the sidekick coming in. Who called that even? What was it indeed Twilight?
It was Twilight, yes. And oddly enough, the horn didn't end up hitting Amer because of the spacing. He was able to hit her and kill him off the side of the map. But here we go, game 3 on Shipwreck. Twilight finds the first weapon and Amer finds the spike ball.
Throwing them both straight down, trying to open up with an unarmed combo is the best way to go about things. Twilight racking up a few hits, but missing the dive kick to put Amer into yellow health. Amer getting the scoop-to-scoop combo.
Yeah,
down
the scoop to neutral
to
air.
Neutral.
Yeah, excellent way of racking up damage. Twilight finds him off stage, only to get punished by Amer's recovery. You have to be careful with Hammer off stage. If you try to go for anything risky, with regards to a ground pound or a downer, you might just find yourself getting thrown below the stage that you had advantage on.
Right, well, both grapples, the up air and the recovery are extremely dangerous, especially since you can change between them so quickly. Twilight getting Amer off over the side of the map, not quite off yet.
Ooh.
Trying to move the up throw, doesn't quite get it. Amer gets back onto the map, but Twilight quickly knocks him off with a side light and a side air, which puts Amer in the grave for this.
Yeah, he went for a very risky side air unarmed attack there. I feel like if he just went for the stage, it would have been a lot safer. Twilight punishes it promptly and now has the lead 3-2.
Twilight looking to guard the weapon here. Amer being denied getting a hammer or a lance. Still, with the mid control and the weapon control, Amer is going to have a lot of damage racked up on him quickly. Unless Amer grabs that lance, which he was probably hoping for an axe or a hammer there.
Twilight's carrying him off the stage with the side light, goes for a downer. Amer throws his weapon upwards. Kind of interesting. I actually like that option because the hitbox lingers even when it falls down. But it doesn't end up doing anything with it. Throws the bomb, gets a trade, but I don't feel like you want that trade as Scarlet. I really don't. With your defense being that low, you're ending up taking more damage, especially at a stock deficit. Twilight might be able to end the stock right now.
With the recovery, not being able to end it, throwing his hammer in, trying to stun Koji, gets a lance before getting knocked over the edge, trying to get the side gravy cancel, doesn't quite get it.
Wow, catches Amer's recovery with the neutral light from the sword. Neutral light being quite interesting in the sense that it kind of grabs the opponent, stopping them in place before knocking them back. And Amer just gets destroyed in an unarmed combo. Hits him with the haymaker and launches him off the side of the map. And ends up taking the first stock of the game.
And the Allahu Akbar bomb, what was that? That's not something you expect to see. With a weapon and 2 bombs on the map, you expect the bombs to be thrown away and the weapons to be picked up. This has turned into a purely unarmed combo match right here.
Amer just trying to fight him with the unarmed right now, off stage. Twilight holding onto the sword. Amer goes to the bomb, ends up getting, wow, hit by 2 side airs into a weapon toss and kills him off the side of the map.